It's finally happening as the Grizzlies have had multiple injuries to deal with early this season. One big name coming back to make his season debut for the Memphis Grizzlies for the 2025-26 season. We'll go over to all that in just a moment, but what's going on, everybody? Jared Alatorre here for another episode of Grizzlies Digest. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. And I always want to highlight our 33% of subscribers. Y'all are awesome. Y'all are fantastic. Doing a great job subscribing, engaging in the comment section. Well, I tell y'all I give y'all a prompt to kind of engage in the comment section, but shout out to all of you. 67% of you have to subscribe to the channel, but y'all have been doing great as we are now on a 8-9 month project of this thing, but y'all been doing such a great job. But getting into the video right now, talking about this man right here, the 7'4", 305-pound Zach Edey, making his debut last night. And even though the Grizzlies lost to one of the NBA's best, the Cleveland Cavaliers, I liked what I saw with Cedric Coward and Zach Edey. And I think a lot of people on X and social media, Facebook, whatever, they were saying that same exact thing. And they feel like they, with Ja Morant and Zach Edey running the pick and roll, they might have something right there with Cedric Coward and Zach Edey running the pick and roll. And with Coward, he got a chance to start. And he should get chances to start whenever he can because he's been that talented. He's been that good. He's earned it. I fully believe that he can embrace what he's already done as an unofficial sixth man thus far. But I think they got something special going right there. And then imagine when you get Ty Jerome back, who's going to be the next Grizzly to come back. Scottie Pippen Jr. unfortunately won't be back until January of 26. I still like what we saw from Zach Edey, and this is exactly what we got from him. 13 points, 7 boards, 2 steals, 2 blocks. 7 of 9 from the free throw line. Pretty dependable free throw shooter. I'm not going to say he's an excellent free throw shooter, but pretty dependable for the most part. But you can see the presence. You can feel the difference of what we got and what we've seen from Jock Landale. Much respect to Jock Landale, but you could see the difference from Jock Landale to Zach Edey. A lot more post presence, good rebounding. 2 blocks on the night, and even though Memphis, they were up by double digits again, and could not hold that lead against the Cleveland Cavaliers. But Cleveland, they got all kinds of different guys making plays. One of the NBA's best for sure, but you've got definitely more post presence. I think Edey is meshing well with the guys with the pick and roll. Even Jaren Jackson Jr. on one play. But imagine both of those guys running screens. And you got Jaren Jackson feeding Edey in the post with one dunk that transpired from that play. But major concern, obviously, for the Grizzlies right now. They're 4-10 on the season. And if you look at the Western Conference standings, obviously very early in the season, Oklahoma City rolling over everybody pretty much. I don't want to say rolling over. The Nuggets are kind of right there. But then, honestly, it's very early. But I want to say it's kind of the Thunder and everybody else, right? To beat the champs, you got to beat the champs. And the Thunder, they're the heavy favorite again for a reason. But if you look at the Grizzlies, they are right now sitting 2 spots behind that play-in tournament, but still very early again. And I know that I said in a few videos where I think some of you in the comment section were implying that I was a little bit harsh with how the Grizzlies are doing and how they're faring out and how they are really struggling right now, and they need guys. I think a lot of people were saying, they need guys back from injury, which is very true. But either way, it happens. That's the world we live in. It's not going to be rainbows and unicorns all the time where everybody's just going to be all good to go for 82 games. Now, Jordan and Kobe have a very different mentality. This is not even talking about the load management thing, which is a completely another topic that I won't get into. But either way, you play with the guys you have, and you got to win. That's what you're paid to do. You have to go out there and win. It's tough with some games you don't have Ja Morant, and that's going to be really important. I think Ja's health from now until mid-late January, I think is going to be one of the more underrated keys to how the Grizzlies season will go. Because if you don't have Morant, then you basically have, assuming Ty Jerome comes back pretty soon, you have a ball handler rotation of Jerome and Javon Small. You know, I don't want to put that pressure on Cedric Coward to be that ball handler, but he can be if need be. But you're really kind of pushing these guys to really come out of their comfort zone. And it's going to be really interesting to see if Ja can actually play, if he is actually healthy, and can he be healthy for the majority of the season? Because if so, that's great. You got to have your best guys for the majority of your games if you want to be a great team. But for Ja Morant, he's got to be out there on the court, and that's going to be the key, I think. Now watch me. Watch the words I say. That's going to be key coming down the stretch for the Memphis Grizzlies as we head toward the trade deadline, which won't be until mid-February. But that's how it looks right now. Again, I like the way Memphis is competing. I think they're doing all what they can. Some radical fans on X going after Tuomas Iisalo in the front office and how Rob Parra, about he needs to make moves himself, and calling for Zach Kleiman's job and Tuomas Iisalo's job, and I just don't really think that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to get to that extreme, but either way, you got to win ball games, and that's what you're paid to do. So, kind of transitioning to what I just said, Tuomas Iisalo is now 1-18 as head coach against teams with a 500 or better record, and I think that translates to what we've seen even when they have great leads. I mean, they had a 20-point lead against Oklahoma City. They had a double-digit lead in the the end of the third quarter in the Cavs game. I mean, it's just execution. It's going to, I wish I could say more about that, but I'm just going to sound like a broken record and say it's just execution going forward. I mean, I know you got to have your best guys. You got to have all your guys. You got to have your Jeromes. You got to have your Pippen Juniors. You got to have your Edeys. Play the game. But either way, if you get those guys back and you're still not beating 500 teams, or at least getting close to like a 500 record against 500 teams, then that's tough. I mean, you're not really going to get to the playoffs or do anything if you're not beating some of the best out there. But that's going to do it for this video. Zach Edey coming back, making his debut. I think this is a great thing for the Memphis Grizzlies, having more post presence out there, rebounding presence, blocking presence, especially with him. I think he got 7 blocks in one of the OKC games in the first round of the playoffs last year. But that's going to do it for this video. Leave a comment down below on Zach Edey's return. And just anything that you want to start. If you want to start a conversation yourself in the comment section below, feel free to do that. But that's going to do it for this video. Jaren Jackson Jr. reporting for Grizzlies Digest. We'll see you in the next video.